Hello guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be showing you the 2022 Honda Civic Sport, and the Sport is basically a detoned Honda Civic SI. It does definitely look like an SI without the SI badges, but let me go ahead and show you all the features this Sport trim has. This Honda Civic does have a 2.0 naturally aspirated four-cylinder engine. It is connected to a CVT transmission, and this engine produces 158 horses and 138 pound-feet of torque. And the fuel economy numbers on this engine: 30 in the city, 37 highway, and 33 combined. Here is the MSRP sticker of this 2022 Civic Sport. If you guys are interested in the standard features this one has, just go ahead and pause the video. The starting price is $23,000, and the price with destination is $24,000. So if you guys are curious about the color is called Crystal Black, and it does look very nice and sharp on this Honda Civic Sport. And I really like the gloss black rims on this Sport trim, and I think this black and black look just looks amazing. As I said, this Honda Civic has four trims. Basically, it does have the LX, Sport, EX, and the Touring, so there is four trims you could choose from. And honestly guys, I did see the Honda Civic SI videos a few days ago, and I wasn't really a big fan of what Honda did with the Honda Civic SI. So basically the Civic SI is a Honda Civic Sport without the badges, so it does have the same look and it does have basically the same rims, but the Sport, the rims on the Sport, they're finished in gloss black. The rims on the SI, they're finished in more like a flat black. But anyways guys, I'm really upset with what Honda did. So they did not make the SI stand out. Back then they used to make it look much better, but I really like this Sport black on black Civic, and I think Honda did a great job with the design. Coming to the front, I really like the fact that everything right here in the front is LED. The turn signal indicators, daytime running light, high and low beam, and the design of the headlight housing looks very good. And I'm not a big fan of the way how this goes down. Basically it has like a kind of like a nose that goes down, and I do have mixed feelings about it. The Honda badge is very small, and I think that's fine. Most of the companies are making their badges in the front huge, and in the bottom there's some flat black. And this Sport does not have fog lights. I really wish it did. And the grill, the bottom grill is functional, and everything right here in the front is finished in flat black. But let's go ahead and move to the side, and I'll show you the side view of this Honda Civic Sport. Here is the side view of this Honda Civic Sport, and the side view looks very good, but I'm really pissed that Honda basically made the Sport look like the SI. I really wish it was different, but basically it has the same rims, same design, and same everything. The only thing they added actually is the badges and the spoiler in the back. I really wish that they added a wing in the back of the SI. But yeah, seriously, I'm really disappointed with what Honda did with the SI, and I really wish that it was just different. The older SIs, they had the IV Tech badge right there. They had like a bigger wing, and they were just different than the normal Civics. And something I want to mention, Honda actually tried to show the Civic SI in this blazing orange, just so people see that it's a little bit different than the normal Civic Sport. But honestly, it's the same, but it's just basically a different color. And for the rims, they look very good. They're finished in gloss black, and the size is 235 for the 18. I think Honda did a great job with the rim design and the gloss black finish. And if you guys get the Sport in a different color, the mirrors will be finished in gloss black, so that's nice. And the Sport does not have a sunroof. And by the way, the Honda Civic SI in Canada has way more features than the SI that we're gonna get. So basically it will have fog lights, it will have heated seats, it will have sensors in the front and back, and it will have a few other things. Overall, I think the Civic design looks good, and it does have that Honda Accord look from that window right there. And all the way in the back, it does look like an Audi A3, A4. But let's go ahead and move to the back, and I'll show you the back view of this Honda Civic. Here is the back of this Honda Civic, and the back I think looks pretty good, especially in this black color. And I have to mention the SI again. And the only reason I'm mentioning the SI is because I'm really disappointed with what Honda did with the SI. They actually added a spoiler on the SI just to make it a little bit different than the normal Civics. So, and it does look like it was like a last minute thing. But anyways, overall I think the new Civic looks pretty good from the back, especially in this black color. Sport badge is all the way to the right, Honda badge is in the middle, and Civic is all the way to the left, and it does have a really nice font. And for the taillights, design looks good. It does almost have that Audi slash Jetta look. And not everything right here in the back is LED. The running light is LED. The turn signal indicators and the reverse, they're halogen. But overall, I think the design of the the taillights look good. Reflectors in the bottom, and it does have a single exhaust tip. Here is a key of this Honda Civic, and it is a different design. I think it does look good. It is finished in gloss black here in the back. Honda badge is finished in chrome, and it does have 5 buttons on this key: lock, unlock, remote start, trunk release, and a panic button in the bottom. And you could actually remove there is a physical key inside of here that you could remove. Let's go ahead and open the trunk. And I think on the touring trim it does open halfway. On the sport and the other trims, it does open just like this, and it is very nice and light. And inside there is actually a very good amount of space. It is nice and deep and wide, and you could drop the seats down. There is this handle that you could pull to be able to drop the seats down. I think on the touring trim you could drop, it is 40/60, but on the sport and the other trims I think basically the whole thing drops down. And underneath there is the spare tire with the jack and the jack tools, and a little bit of storage place around the spare tire. But yeah, there is a good amount of space in the trunk of the Civic. Here is the door handle on the Civic Sport. It is finished in the same color as the car, and it does have a sensor right behind it. That's how you unlock the car. And to lock it, there is a sensor right here, those 3 lines. Just go ahead and tap on them, and this will take care of locking the Civic. Here is a front door panel, and it does look pretty good. The top portion is finished in plastic, which I'm not a big fan of, but that's fine. And the door handle has a really nice design to it. It is nice and light, feels solid at the same time. I really wish this trim was a little bit different. I think the higher trims have this trim finished in gloss black. This whole thing is cloth, which is nice. The armrest is nice and soft. It does have some great stitching. And in the bottom, this is plastic. Window switches, mirror controls look very, very high quality. The front 2 windows are automatic up and down, and Honda usually does a great job with the window switches, the buttons, and everything. And here is the trunk release button. This is plastic. It does feel a little bit on the cheaper side. And in the bottom there is a storage place with a speaker. And for the seats, they're very, very comfortable. Design looks good, and they're manual seats. And this is wrapped in leather, which is nice. The center is cloth, and as I said, the design looks very, very nice. But let's go ahead and move inside this Honda Civic, and I'll show you how it looks like from the inside. Alright, so here is the interior of this 2022 Honda Civic Sport. To be able to tell that this is the Sport, it will just have black seats, but if you get the SI, the seats are going to be different, and they're going to look really, really good. And I think the SI will have like red accents or orange accents around the AC vents. And yeah, overall I think the design looks good, and I think Honda did a great job with the Honda Civic. It looks like a normal car right now. Steering wheel is wrapped in leather. The thickness is nice. The bottom is a little bit on the thinner side. The top is nice and thick. 10 and 2 grip are nice and thick, which is good. And yeah, overall the fit and finish is very, very good in this Honda Civic. The Honda emblem or badge is finished in chrome. There is some gloss black around the buttons and in the bottom. And all the way to the left, that's where the seat buttons are: source, volume controls, home, and voice command. If you click home, you could actually scroll up and down. So there is a ton of things. And the left is basically a screen, and the right is analog, and you could toggle through a good amount of things. And this Civic does have paddle shifters. They feel very cheap, but I'm glad that there is some paddle shifters. And on the right, that's where the cruise controls are, basically steering assist, lane keep assist, and the adaptive cruise control and everything. And On the right is the wiper controls. Here is the engine start stop. It does look very good, and it is lit up in red. And on the left is the headlight controls, and gauges look very nice and easy to understand, and the AC vents look good. And I really like what Honda did with the AC vents on the Civic. A lot of people don't like them, but I really like the honeycomb AC vents. You could lock the vents, close them or open them. And brightness control in the bottom, and all the way down there is the traction control with Honda sensing controls. And here is a screen. It is a 7-inch screen. It does look good, and it does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There is a volume knob and a tune knob, hard buttons underneath that screen. And here is the backup camera. Backup camera resolution is good, and there is three views you could choose from. There is the wide view, normal, and down view. And the AC vents look good, and there's a good amount of gloss black on the dash. Here is the climate controls, and they're very easy to use. It does have an auto function, and it is a one-zone climate control. Here is the fan speed, and it does display inside that small screen right here, and you could change the modes from there if you want to. It does display right there, which is nice, and that does have an auto function. And down here there is a storage place. It is nice and big, and I think if you get the touring trim, this will be a wireless phone pad, 1 USB, and a 12 volt. And here is the shifter that will control the CVT transmission in this Honda Civic, and it is wrapped in leather. 2 cup holders, nice and big, and I really like the trim Honda used on this middle console. Here is the drive mode, engine shut off, brake hold with the e-brake. Let's go ahead and change the drive modes. So nothing really changes. There's basically just a small red line right on top of the miles, the mile per hour. And if you go back to normal and eco, they're basically the same. And here is the armrest. It is finished in cloth, nice and soft. And inside there is a ton of space with basically a tray, a coin tray, or a tray that you could use to store small things. But anyways, there is a ton of space, and I love the fact that you could put the tray in 2 different places, so that's nice. For the rear view mirror, it is nice and big, and the bezels are nice and thin, and the 22 Honda Civic does have LED lights, so if you get the LX or the Touring, you will get LED lights, which is nice. And here is the visor. It is nice and soft, and inside there is a mirror, but I really wish that there was a light right here. Here is a back door panel, and Honda did definitely cheap out back here. Everything on this door panel is plastic except the armrest, so I'm really happy that the armrest is at least finished in cloth. But seriously guys, everything is plastic, and some places are very cheap plastic. The armrest is nice and soft. Window switch looks good. Here is the tweeter, speaker in the bottom, and a tiny bit of storage place in the bottom of this door. And for the back seats are nice and spacious, and the driver's seat is actually almost all the way to the back, and I think there's a good amount of space in this Honda Civic. Headroom is good. Something that I really don't like is the fact that there is no armrest and no cup holders here in the back, but this middle section right here is wrapped in leather, which is nice. This is cloth, and there is no AC vents in the back, and that's how the front of this Honda Civic looks like. I hope you guys enjoyed this review of this 2022 Honda Civic Sport. I know I did compare the SI to the Sport a lot, and honestly, the only reason I did because I am very disappointed with what Honda did with the Honda Civic SI, and I think they could have done a little bit better job. I think they could have made it a little bit different than the Sport trim. All they did, basically, they added the SI badges and a spoiler in the back, and they kept everything basically the same. So they have the same rims on the Sport and the SI. But you guys let me know what you think. But anyways, guys, I would like to thank Tim and Executive Honda in Wallingford, Connecticut for providing me this sport trim. And if you guys would like to see more videos like this, please subscribe, and as always, I'll see you next time.